Talking about winning championships, it's time for the final round for 2004 for the Formula 4000 powered by Holden. Who will it be? McFadden out on top of the championship at the moment after 3 rounds, followed by Hanger and Nguyen. But problems for Ty Hanger this weekend, down in pit lane. Qualifying didn't go his way. Let's catch up with the young pilot.
We had a rehab failure and had a rear wheel that went walkabouts during qualifying, so off the rear of the grid, but 15 laps is a long way.
I had a bad run earlier on in the year. I was actually leading the Silver Star class at Mallala and then had that unfortunate incident where I was dueling with Ian Peters and ran straight off the road. So I lost a heap of points there and I haven't been able to make up for it.
It's always good to get pole and we want to chase it up with a win. So basically you just got to get a good start and race it out with Rob. Both of our sort of cars, we've been in different stages. Sort of one's been quick, one's been slow. Well, now we're both up there, they're both quick. So really it'd be good to have a head-to-head battle with him.
Cars starting to make their way down to the grid for the first of the Formula 4000 races powered by Holden. Let's take a look at the lineup.
Yeah, Neil McFadden on pole position, Rob Nguyen alongside. Then we go to Terry Clearahan, Ian Peters, Stephen Bourness, Mark West, Christina Ora, lady in the mix this weekend, Michael Jeannot, Rowan Carrick, Greg Fay in the mix as well, Pingle.
Problems on the start there. Looks like Ty Hanger had stalled the car. We saw his arms waving around in the background, so he seemed to didn't get away too cleanly at all, as looks like it's a great dice at the front between Nguyen and McFadden, and Rob Nguyen with the jump as they make their way down towards turn 2.
Well, he needs to win this one. Does Nguyen? Oh, big dice there. Mark West going straight down the inside.
Yes, big move as we go on board with Ian Peters as they come out of turn number 2, a very slow corner, start to build their pace up over the hill, down towards turn number 4 now. There's a big bump here. You'll see a lot of the guys actually going to the inside of the circuit, try to avoid the dip in the race surface there. Great shot of Stephen Bourness, who has come from Porsche racing, doing a great job, really loves his competition.
That's to say the least. He enjoyed his qualifying session in this open wheel and may even come back and race the entire championship next year. On board with Mark West at the moment, stepping back into the car for this round, keen to impress.
Yes, West doing a great job chasing down Terry Clearahan, and then it's back to Peters. Looks like Rowan Carrick, Bourness. Big field of cars here as they come around Corporate Hill. Under brakes, Bourness with a look down the inside of Carrick in the Arlec entry. Down to turn number 9. Looks up the inside. Does he have the spot? Carrick is forced wide. Look for Bourness with the inside run. And he can't do it, forced to drop in behind him.
Well, Carrick driving good racing lines there, but how keen is Bourness to go out and race in open wheeler racing? We catch a replay at the start, and you can see problems further back in the field. That's Ty Hanger, didn't get off the line, the arms are waving, and that's disappointing for Ty.
Yeah, unfortunate luck for him, who also didn't qualify very well, obviously, at the back of the grid. And Ty, one of the real front runners in the Australian Formula 4000 Championship, of course, the Gold Star. Can it be wrapped up in this race? Neil McFadden, he needs to win this race. If he does, he claims the championship for 2004.
Should point out also the Silver Star up for grabs this weekend. Bourness straight up the inside of Rowan Carrick. He picks up another spot. Carrick's trying to fight back. And look at the back of Bourness's car dance around under acceleration. That's what makes F4000 such a unique beast.
Yes, over 300 horsepower V6 Holden-based engines. They are really very, very quick cars. Flat bottom, a lot of downforce, and certainly very, very quick around the fast-flowing layout of Eastern Creek Raceway. West still trying to get onto the tail of Clearahan, who has to be said is having a sensational race meeting, currently running 3rd.
Yeah, just snatched a break down in turn 7. A bit disappointing there. It shouldn't have been too bad. Shouldn't flat spot the tyres. That's important. But how about this man? How much pressure on his shoulders here today?
But we go on board now with Ian Peters as he comes out of turn number 9, up through the gears, very fast right hand. Get hard on the brakes, back through a couple of gears, turn it left, float it out towards the river strip. All the car of West there a little bit untidy, starting to move around a little bit. The Just Parts magazine entry onto the front straight. A long, long straight here at Eastern Creek Raceway, and they go full bore through turn number 1.
Yes, Nathan, that's for the brave, and there's plenty of brave people out there at the moment. They need to be, with both the Gold Star and the Silver Star up for grabs this weekend. Everybody needs to drive hard, just like Ian Peters.
Yes, hard under brakes. As I said, this car's with a lot of downforce, so they can stop very quickly, and I think he made up a little bit of ground there under brakes, but not enough really to make any inroads. Of course, this is the final round of the championship. The championship coming to a premature end with the cancellation of Phillip Island, and someone heading off into the pit lane there, obviously with some issues.
It looked like the top of Rowan Carrick's car, but we'll try and confirm that for you. So, problems in that race, and this can be difficult at this time of the year. The cars have worked hard right throughout the season. Interesting line some of these F4000s are taking. Not your conventional line, particularly down in turn 2. That's a wide entry. Then they cut it real tight on the exit to try and put the power down.
Yes, of course, it's as you said before, these cars create a lot of horsepower. It's not a matter of just mashing your foot to the throttle, especially here out of turn number 9, where you really have to get the car pointed straight, feed the throttle in, especially in the earlier laps before the tyres get enough heat into them. And I think it is actually Peters starting to make some inroads on West. West seems to be a little bit slow around this part of the circuit. You can actually visually see the ground that Peters is making up on that car. How good is it in a straight line, though? Yeah,
he's driving very hard this weekend, Peters. You can see down the main straight, there's not a great deal between the two. He just rubs a bit of muck off the front of his visor. Well, in actual fact, he's grabbing his helmet. Let's hope that it's strapped on well and it's not moving around, causing him some grief. But he is picking up a mile of ground, Nathan, you're right.
Yeah, certainly is catching him as we go on board with West now. Watch him hard under brakes. 100-metre mark, just goes past the 100-metre mark, hard on the brakes, tips the car in, runs it a little bit wide. It is a double apex option there at turn number 2, as Bono was saying. However, a couple of people electing to turn in a little bit later. But look at Peters now. Very, very close, within striking range.
Oh, now he has a bit of a look up the inside, decides not to go on with it. Sits in behind. Where's he going to have a go? We're on board with West at the moment. The pressure is on this man.
Peters also tends to elect to move to the inside of the racetrack back there because it does avoid the bump. Of course, as I said before, very low ground clearance on these cars. They are flat bottom, and there is a big dip in that part of the circuit. The cars can bottom out, unsettle, and actually lift whole wheels off the ground in some instances.
This battle just taking place behind the national neon signs. A car of Terry Clearahan. It's just up the road ahead, and in fact, they're starting to catch him. You can see him straight up ahead on the road, on board with Mark West as he goes through the final group of turns onto the start-finish straight. This time it's going to be slipstreaming down across the start-finish line.
I think Peters will have to be a little bit closer if he can get into that slipstream and make him something out of that toe. Of course, being wings, having wings on these cars, if you can get right in close behind the other car, the car in front is dispersing most of the air, so you lose a little bit of downforce and you can catch up. But he is certainly closing in, certainly in a straight line.
And this is where it's a problem, though, if you're too close, because you're not getting the downforce you need to get through turn 1. No problems for Peters that time. He gets the run, looks to the inside. No! West slams the door.
Boy, he certainly tried to psych West out of that one. Oh, and he did the job. West has got on the gas, tried to punch it out of the corner too early, and has turned the car around. Well, I tell you what, that's what pressure was about. Peters just kept his nose there, was trying to force his way, make an opening. And we saw that West probably saw him in the mirrors, got on the throttle too soon. Here's the replay. Spun it round and luckily got on the brakes. Peters didn't get hit in the rear.
Well, here's another go as they make their way down through turn 2. You can see, as you said, Nathan, just stood on the gas too hard. You can't do that in these cars. They'll snap out on you, and once they go, very, very hard to pull them back.
Didn't stall the car, though, managed to keep it going, so he probably only lost one spot, possibly 2 with that move. Here's Rob Newen now, who's doing a sensational job in the 74 car. Has had, let's just face it, a horrendous season. Has not had the pace that you know he's capable of. The car has had some mechanical issues throughout the whole year, and it's good to see him finding a bit of form here at Eastern Creek Raceway.
There's Ty Hanger recovering well after missing the start, having a problem on the start-finish line at the start of this one. Working his way through traffic, sitting 3rd in the championship coming into this round. He'd like to maintain that for the season 2004.
And he's done a sensational job because he was very, very slow away on the start of this race, and now he's coming up into the tail of Bourness, and Peters is just in front of him. So I think he's battling for something like 5th or 6th on the racetrack at the moment. So Ty, very, very quick indeed. Sporting a new paint scheme for this weekend. The car looks very nice.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was very quick in Formula Ford as well. Stepped into this class and turned a few heads. Is absolutely screaming at the moment. Look, flat stick through turn 1. Didn't have the optimum line, but didn't back out of it. That's brave.
Car obviously with some issues in qualifying. Qualified all the way back in number 12 with a 1:35.46 as compared to the one.
Oh, Peters around. Sorry, Nathan. He looped it round, allows Ty Hanger to pick up another spot. Did it all on his own.
Well, that's the same place as Mark West did it just in front of him 1 lap prior. So maybe there's something down on the racetrack. Here's the replay. It's nearly identical position.
Well, when it happened to West, Peters would have been giggling under the helmet. Well, now he's got a bit of his own desserts, and the battle's back on between these two again.
Well, that's West coming by Peters, so West has made a place back up. Now, I think he's actually where he started on the racetrack after that spin with a couple of people firing off.
It's like going back a couple of laps, isn't it? Although Peters doesn't seem to be quite on it at the moment. Looks like he just needs to clean off his tyres. They would have picked up a lot of grass and a lot of jump. That man, no problems at all. Look at this battle for the race lead. Nothing between the Rob Nguyen and Neil McFadden.
Oh, we talked about the horrendous luck that Rob Nguyen's had all season. It looks like it's come back. Neil McFadden goes through to take the race lead. I don't think that car of Rob Nguyen is running strongly because it has already dropped back a lot of car spots.
Well, it's almost like it's not reaching the top of its RPM gauge, or it's down on a cylinder or something. McFadden is no problem at all. He's scooting off into the distance. That Gold Star is getting closer and closer.
Certainly is, certainly within his reach now, as we see a couple of the back markers further back in the field. Someone with a problem is Rowan Carrick. He's slowing up as he rolls through turn number 8 around Corporate Hill down towards turn 9. He has a problem with that 49 Arlec entry. That is unfortunate luck. Yeah, that's disappointment for the Victorian, performing pretty well this weekend. And that pretty much throws his Silver Star out the window. Look at this. Ty Hanger on Terry Clearahan. This is for a podium spot as well. Those two working hard on each other. And what a drive it's been by Ty Hanger, who, as I said, with 1 lap left to run, has come from the back of the field and is now in contention for third. Oh, Clearahan throws it away, outbrakes himself, was probably looking in the mirror, thought, I've got to go in deep here because Ty's quick, and unfortunately threw away third place. Yeah, you could see him looking in the revision mirror, watch the head from side to side, gets on the brakes, all too late, stands on them too hard, and Ty Hanger says, thank you very much, I'll slide up the inside. Speaking of thank you very much, how lucky is Neil McFadden? Here's Rob Nguyen, and Ty Hanger is catching. Nguyen obviously has a problem. The car is slowing up. Can he hang on to second place? He needs the points. I tell you what, this is terrible luck for Rob Nguyen. He's only got a couple of corners to hold out Ty Hanger. Is it enough? Well, they come out of turn 8. Ty Hanger looking very racy. And, of course, Nguyen struggling. Down through turn 8 they go. No change in position. Is he close enough? Or will it count at this part of the circuit? Neil McFadden, no problems for him. Receives the checkered flag. Takes the win in race 1. The battle still on absolutely for second spot. Will it be Hanger or will it be Nguyen? We have to look back towards the top of the straight. Here they come now. Rob Nguyen and Ty Hanger. Rob doesn't have the straight line speed. And with 100 metres left to run, gives away second place. Great drive, though. Don't take anything away from Ty Hanger. Good job. Let's take a look at the final results. It's Neil McFadden with the win over Ty Hanger. Rob Nguyen frustrated in third. Then Terry Clearahan, Stephen Bournes, Mark West, Ian Peters and Derek Pingle.
We basically didn't have the pace that we showed in qualifying in the race, which was disappointing. Rob had a lot more speed than us. They seem to have found a bit of pace. And we've actually lost something in the car, so hopefully we can get it going back quick again and really have a good performance in the second race.
Everything was going fine, very good start. We were leading the race quite comfortably. We were quite a good margin, and then suddenly the misfire came, especially in the high RPMs, and then we just lost lots of seconds per lap, and I was just trying to finish in the top so then I could salvage some points and also start up front for the second race.
Stalled the car on the start and had to get a push start, and obviously the field got quite a way away. Eventually I wore them down one by one and worked my way back up the second spot.
Yeah, we were holding a fairly strong P4 and Clearahan was just in front, and I saw Peters behind me, but it appeared he was having a little bit of trouble. But I did close the door a little bit in turn 2 and subsequently ran out of the room, and pure driver error. But we managed to turn it around and get back to 6, so we're starting off a reasonable position again, or back to where I was, so hopefully I can get back up to 4-3.
Well, with a win in race 1 here at Eastern Creek, Neil McFadden has taken out the much-prized Gold Star for 2004. His rise from karting to open-wheeler success has been rapid.
Not so long ago, I was my bum was in a cart, and you know, we were doing sort of national titles and that sort of stuff, and you know, had dreams of doing Formula Ford. Now I'm the Formula Ford champion, and now the Gold Star champion for Formula 4000. I mean, it's really, I mean, if you worked out a best case scenario, that would be it.
McFadden's victory has given Ralt Australia their third consecutive Gold Star win.
Neil's probably come on the most during the year because he's probably been the most inexperienced driver that we've had, coming straight from Formula Ford. The other two drivers, Will Power and Johnny Reid, have done a lot of testing with the high-powered car. Neil hasn't done any testing. He did one day at the beginning of the year, and that's all he's done due to finances, but he's really come on strong at the end of the year, so he's got a big future.
With the Gold Star under his belt, both V8 supercar here in Australia and an international open wheeler career are beckoning.
I'd love to go overseas, but I mean, it's budget restrains most drivers from sort of making the big jump. But I mean, I'm going to do everything in my power to try and do something there, and we've got a few guys working on some things for next year with overseas drives, and you know, that'd be my passion to do that for sure.
So what lies behind McFadden's whirlwind success over the last 3 years?
Probably just a burning desire to win, really. I mean, that's why I come here, that's why I do it. I mean, I love racing, but I hate losing, so if I don't win, it's not great.
Well, the Gold Star may be all wrapped up, but the Silver Star is still up for grabs. Ian Peters and Terry Clearahan will battle that one out. Well, Terry, what are you going to do in this race to secure that championship?
We ran fourth in the last race. We got pipped by a tyre at the last minute, but if everything goes to plan and we go like we did in the first race, hopefully we'll take that trophy home.
Terry's a great competitor. I'm sure we'll have a good race, and it's sort of a good way for it to turn out, really. You know, knock down, drag out, who wins?
It just depends on the guys. They're fixing the car now, if they have it reliable. And it'll be interesting if I'm starting from third to pass Neil and Hanger. So that'll be very interesting.
With the championship over now, I mean, it's no pressure, so we can basically go hell for leather and hopefully see if we can match it.
A very happy boy, and so he should be, adding another championship to his already impressive resume. Let's take a look at the grid for race 2.
Well, it's a Gold Star winner of Neil McFadden on pole position. Ty Hanger alongside Rob Nguyen, Terry Clearahan, Stephen Bourness, Mark West, Ian Peters, Derek Pingle, Ray Hanger in the 35 car, Christina Orr and Rowan Carrick.
Let's see if Ty can get a better start this time. Oh, no! Trouble again for Ty Hanger. Clearahan lucky to miss him. He got that car all out of shape, and Ty Hanger once again struggles off the start line, but it's a battle between Ewan and McFadden down to turn 2.
Oh, look at this. This is the battle for the race lead, and there's still plenty of honour out there to be won, but yeah, big move there, and Rowan Carrick very lucky not to end up in pieces.
Yes, very, very lucky indeed. Terry Clearahan did a sensational job to get out of the way. Ty Hanger now starting to come back through the field as we go on board with him, comes up over the hump. You'll see, watch Carrick's car actually gets the rear off the ground. That's the bump I was talking about. There's a very large bump on that part of the racetrack as we go on board with Rowan Carrick now. Ty Hanger going around him and driving off into the distance.
Yeah, some drivers tend to weave into the inside of the track to try and avoid it as we catch a replay of the start. Hanger goes nowhere. Clearahan in a four-wheel drift almost tries to avoid him. This is how Mark West saw it.
Very lucky indeed. I think Terry Clearahan really got a big fright then, did a sensational job to get out of the way, but Ty Hanger didn't take him long to get back onto the tail of these guys. Starting to come forward through the field now, onto the tail of Terry Clearahan, and this is the battle for what looks like 4th or 5th place at the moment. Bit of fluid coming out of the back of Clearahan's car there.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with Clearahan's reaction time. That was impressive. On board with Rowan Carrick, who goes around.
And you can see a bit of fluid on the lens now, whether that's a little bit of rain starting to fall here at Eastern Creek or whether it's actually coming out of a car, we're not sure, but I'd say that a bit of fluid on the track there that might have helped Rowan Carrick around.
Well, let's hope that is the case. Slick tyres, you certainly don't want rain. Nguyen looks at our new Gold Star winner, decides to sit in second.
Oh, problems for Terry Clearahan. This is, yeah, you can see there is definitely something coming out of the back of that car. It's absolutely spewing fluid out of the back of it, and that's probably what helped contribute. I think that is actually coolant, Boydo.
Yeah, it looks very coolantish, doesn't it? But either way, it's the end of Terry Clearahan's day. He won't finish the last race of the season.
Ty hanging out, a bit of fluid on the lens, as we might imagine, obviously behind Clearahan as he struck those problems. Now he sets on out after the next competitor in front of him, and it's Ian Peters.
Now, don't forget, it wouldn't just be on the lens, it'd be on his visor as well. Yeah, sure, they do have tear-offs, but it doesn't always get rid of all of the muck.
Well, Rob Newen, what can he do? Obviously, a bit of pride at stake here. The championship is gone. He's had a terrible championship, let's face it, but I'm sure he would like to win this final race to show that he is a very quick race car driver. Plans for Grand Prix 2 next year, I'm being told, but he's done a great job in these cars.
Peters holding out Ty Hanger at the moment as they go up through the final group of turns. Just waiting to see Ty Hanger look up the inside. Decides to wait till they get to the start-finish straight to make the overtaking manoeuvre, and West also on a charge.
That was very close indeed. West decided, well, was it left or was it right? Last minute he went to the right and only just missed the rear of Borness's car as Peters now starts to wind him in through turn number 1. Full ball, these cars doing well over the 200 km/h mark. Hard under brakes now.
Oh,
big lock up from West.
Well, the Just Parts car was almost in bits and pieces there at one stage. Ty Hanger gets through on Peters, now lines up Borness and Mark West out in front of him, who are involved in a ding-dong battle of their own. Now to the inside, Ty Hanger, has Borness seen him? Oh, slams the door.
Yes, absolutely got the door slammed in his face, and Ty Hanger starting to come back through the field. Borness now under an awful amount of pressure. This will be a pretty good job, a pretty good test for him. As we said, it's only his second ever race meeting. You can see the camera lens has received a stone and has been absolutely shattered on the front of the of that camera there for Ty Hanger, and obviously it'll improve the vision of the camera, but let's hope that he didn't catch one.
Gives us a great view. Unfortunately, it's going to be costly. Mark West under plenty of pressure. It's a three-way go for this position now. Stephen Borness, the second of those cars, as we go on board and watch the action up ahead with Ian Peters.
Yeah, Peters now brings it through this fast right-handed down in gear, tips it into the left, floats it out towards the Ribble Strip, uses all of the racetrack. I'm quite surprised that Ty Hanger hasn't been able to find a way around Borness so far. West doing a good job just out in front, and here comes the slipstream, pulls out, pulls to the inside, got the right run down for the inside and turn number 1.
And, well, he's picked up one spot now. He's going to try and line up Mark West, as carrying plenty of pace down through turn 1. We'll probably have a look at turn 2. McFadden out in front of Nguyen at the moment. These two, as you said at the beginning of the race, battling for pride, if nothing else. And there's plenty of pride in open wheeler racing.
Well, Neil McFadden has won just about every Australian karting championship there is to win. He was the Australian Formula 4 champion, and now in 2004, he's the Australian Formula 4000 champion as Ty Hanger looks to the inside of West. Gets by. We take the Just Parts on board now. West, does he have an answer for it? No. Look at Hanger just pulling away.
Yeah, and if you look at his rear tyres, you can see them starting to grain up a bit, which is telling you that he's putting the power down very hard, just getting a little bit of wheel spin, but it's not costing him time at the moment.
Ty Hanger, now where would he be if he hadn't have messed up that race start? He'd be battling up the front with McFadden and Nguyen. As we take a look at this battle now, Nguyen, can he find a way around? Had electrical issues in race number 1. The car wouldn't rev when it got in the higher rev range, developed a bit of a miss, and that's obviously why he was short of straight line speed. Down the inside. Ooh, forces his way through it. He's got him. I think he's got him.
Out into the dirt goes Neil McFadden, and unfortunately couldn't get the power down, and Nguyen picks up a spot. Well, McFadden wasn't keen to turn in, was he? Left the door open. We go on board with Peters. He comes up behind Borness. This is brave down into the very fast, flat out turn 1, and he gets through nicely.
Does the outside move on Borness. So Stephen Borness in 2 race meetings is certainly... Suspension failure. I would suggest a suspension failure for Stephen Borness there. It looked like the right rear wishbone collapsed on that car under brakes, and Stephen Borness learnt in the hard way how to stop these cars. Have a look at the right rear tyre here. Certainly something broke in the back of that car, and he did a sensational job to stop that thing. Just got hard on the brakes. Boy, scary stuff.
He was lucky that the car started to spin. It could have easily buckled over on itself. Now he gets out of harm's way. He thinks he's trying to go on, but he doesn't realise the damage to the back of that car. You can see the wheel all out in no man's land. Rowan Carrick looking to the inside.
Yes, Rowan Carrick decides not to go on with it. Nearly went down the inside there of Derek Tingle in the Lola, the only Lola running in the field. You can tell the car looks a little bit different to the others, and manages to hold out Rowan just for at least a couple more corners.
Yeah, a slightly older car, but doing a pretty good job out there at the moment and riding the bumps exceptionally well.
Well, what about poor old Stephen Borness? He's probably thinking, damn, I spun, but it's not his fault, unfortunately. Rob Nguyen now still managing to hold out Neil McFadden, and this would be a lot of pride for him as I said before, had some mechanical issues, some horsepower dramas in race number 1. I think, to be fair, Rob has probably been the quickest driver in the championship this year. Oh, not again. I think the Gremlins have stuck up again. He is actually waved by. You saw Neil McFadden give him the thumbs up. That's great driving.
Yeah, very disappointing for Nguyen, losing a bit of pace there again, coming down the start-finish line. Your point, Nathan, is very, very valid, but at the end of the day, it's the man who can stay out there, be consistent and pick up the most amount of points. He's the man who can win and has won the championship.
Yes, and we must credit Neil McFadden for the fact that he has not put a foot wrong in the championship so far. He has done everything right. There's been no problems, no dramas, and as you said, consistency has got him the points and got him the win. Rob Nguyen seems relatively quick around this part of the circuit, but in a straight line. So possibly again, Bordeaux, that high RPM miss has come back. So when the car gets on the straight and he starts to buzz the motor up, it just cuts out, no power.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to pretend that I know exactly what Neil was thinking, but it was almost like, gee, that's a shame because we were having so much fun.
Yes, I certainly I would think Neil would rather race for it than drive off into the sunset by himself. Rob Nguyen's relatively quick, as I said, in and out of the corners, but just in a straight line you can see there the car just basically, it's like it's on a rev limiter. It's not going anywhere. It's speed limited, if you will, and that's very unfortunate. But is there enough laps left for him to hang on to second place, because there's a pretty quick Ty Hanger coming forward as well.
Well, he's on a charge again like we saw in race 1 on the program. Ty Hanger carving his way through the field. There's Pingle. Down across the start-finish line goes McFadden, down through turn 1.
Fair bit of arm work in the cockpit for Neil McFadden. He has 1 lap left to run. I'm not sure whether possibly there's a little bit of light rain. Maybe he's wiping the visor, but there was certainly a lot of arm work for him as he was going down the main straight, maybe acknowledging the crew on the wall. This is the last race of the 2004 series, and Neil McFadden in the lead is probably just expressing his joy to the crew as he goes past the main straight.
Well, he certainly will be at the end of this lap. Graham Watson and the team have done a great job, giving him a very reliable car, and it's been able to get through and pick up yet another championship for them.
Yes, of course, it'll be interesting to see what Neil McFadden does in 2005, whether he makes the move to V8 supercars like a lot of people have done, or whether he elects to go overseas and try to pick up a drive in Euro F3000 or GP2. Oh, have a look at Ty Hanger now. There goes Rob Nguyen. That is unfortunate luck. A little bit of a wave from Ty Hanger. Rob Nguyen now drops back to 3rd place, but no one will catch this man.
Yeah, well, he'll move up into 2nd spot. A great bloke, Ty Hanger, but at the moment, this is the man that all the glory is on in 2004. Neil McFadden comes up onto the start-finish straight. It's another sweet victory and a sweet championship. Another one up on the mantelpiece.
Yes, he certainly is. Should be congratulated. Neil McFadden takes 2 from 2 in the final round here at Eastern Creek Raceway. Congratulations, a great job. You are the Gold Star champion, the winner of the Formula 4000 powered by Holden Championship. Here comes Ty Hanger, a 2nd place in this race, and that should be good enough for 3rd in the championship, Bordeaux.
Yeah, good performance by Ty Hanger in 2004. Let's check the full results for you now. McFadden with the win, Hanger in 2nd, Rob Nguyen, he hangs on for 3rd, then Peters, West, Janu and Pingle, and Rowan Carrick rounds out the 8.
There was a lot of talk of who was going to do what at the start of the season. You know, it doesn't really worry me. I just do my own thing, get it going good, and just race hard. And obviously, we get the results.
This car here, I think next year we can bring it without a driver. It knows its way around. It's won every round here for the last 3 years. So there's obviously something about this car and this circuit that go together.
Oh, it's been a great season. Certainly a big learning curve. We've gained a very lot of experience, during this season. So hopefully we can carry that on for next season.
Yeah, the main thing was to be in Australia this year to race. I'm not too disappointed about not winning. We showed we had the speed. Just the team's got to work a little bit to sort out the gremlins, but the car's very quick when it's working.